Company! Forward! Right!
Like we're in hell with the chosen, bombing children, dropping poison. When everyone was sleeping, they came and took over. Now our fire rises higher until we make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say, lies we were forced to believe. I will scream the truth tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my white song. I take back my right song. I kick out the kite song. How power turns on. Starting right now, we'll be strong. We'll play our white song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I've got a lot of faith left in me. We're the ones who will overthrow them, reclaim our destiny, becoming frozen. When everyone does, we never lost focus. Now our people awaken to reclaim our nations. And all those lies they told to me, tricked us all with their deceit. Will I scream the truth tonight? Can you see victory's mine? This is my white song. I take back my right song. I kick out the kite song. Our power turns on. Starting right now, we'll be strong. We'll play our white song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I've got a lot of faith left in me. A lot of faith left in me. A lot of faith left. Like we're in hell with the chosen, bombing children, dropping poison. While everyone was sleeping, they came and took over. But our fire rises higher until we make an explosion.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Wednesday's show. And we're live on Unity News Network, D-Live, and also on my YouTube channel, which now has 12 subscribers. And Floor But Hopeful says that she's glad that I'm using my YouTube channel. Hopefully some others will hop on here. Maybe, but it doesn't really matter. It's just, I think it's time I just started my own channel, just in case David should ever decide that what's the point in putting out your point of view when so many people are against it. Anyway, let's say hello to a few people here. During 1953, Sic Parvis Magna 223-4. Looking sharp, geezer. Yeah, sorry, Mary Walker. You stay on D-Live, my darling. Yeah, look, I've got my UNN t-shirt on here because I have noticed a lot of hate for UNN because we're saying that reform, Nigel Farage is not the answer. We're saying that, what the hell is going on? Why are we supporting Israel? Why are we not supporting Britain? All these things. And it does remind me of, when we were during lockdown and everything. Oi, oi, Savaloy. Greg Romford is in the house. Good evening, Greg. Good to see you. And Dr. Lemmers. Dr. Lemmers, who's actually Flawed. Hi, Flawed. It's Della73. I thought Dr. Lemmers was going to say what their D-Live name was. And boy, had I missed David. It's so good to have him back. Yeah, but I have noticed on Twitter all the hatred that's flowing forth. People even calling David controlled opposition. You know, how can you be controlled opposition when you're saying something completely different from what a government is saying, from what alternative media is saying? It's crazy. I just don't get it. Anyway, let's crack on because I'm the warm-up show for Kate Shemirani. And Kate actually has on tonight the guest that she didn't have on last night because he's very, very old. Let me just see if I can find a picture of him. I'm supposed to download it for Kate's show because it's a survivor of someone who used to work on the USS Liberty. Let me just find, come on, Kate Shemirani. Let's see where her email is. Let's see if I can find it. Here, look, I put it on here. I'll put this on here so you can see what I'm looking at. Where are you, Kate? Where are you, Kate? Let me do a search. If I type in Kate, and then that should bring it up. This here, we sent your kit. I have got a new broadband coming that is going to cost me £40 less than I'm paying now. And it's got more upload, more download speed than, let's just say, there we go. It'll be this one here. Yeah, here it is. Here's the photograph. This is the photograph of Phil from the USS Liberty. This is him when he was on. I'd have to download it. Let me just download it while I'm here. Save image as image 0964. There we go. I have to remind that. But isn't that wonderful that we've actually got a survivor of an Israeli attack on an American. Oh, look, there's me again. Woohoo! Okay, right. Let's see. Dr. Lemma says we're all flawed in our own ways, but flawed but hopeful is flawed more than most. Right, let's see what people are saying on DLive as well. I didn't say hello to a lot of people as well. Alphabet Cat, I've got to say hello to you. Looby Dooby Doo's in the room. Neil Christie, good to see you, Neil, in there. I saw some other people as well. Oksana Reese, Oksana, good to see you as well. I do notice how people dip in and dip out of chat. You know, you don't see people getting in. Roger Cook. Yeah, it's amazing how people sort of dip in and dip out. On there. Anyway, enough chitty chat from me. Let's get on to some news. I'm just going to talk about, okay, because look, I am ginger. I've got a lot of grey, lot of grey. Okay, right, but I am a ginger. Okay, and this I thought was oh, I was going to say as well about how people subtly. Oh, and today's show as well is sponsored by Unbelief as well, in tribute to our long departed, sadly missed Vince Cawthron. So let me just light up. And every time I have a cigarette, I do think about Vince. May he rest in peace. But have you noticed how certain channels, alternative media mainly, although the BBC and ITV, they do push stories, don't they? But alternative media push the stories as well. So, for example, Active Patriot on Twitter, okay, if you look at his feed, let me just bring that on. David Clues just texted me. He said, "Boo." What was that? I don't know what that was about. Yeah. So let's just look at Active Patriot, who I really like. Active Patriot. I like his channel, but he. Oh God, I didn't spell that right. Let me bring this in so you can see what I'm looking at. Active Patriot. He actually posted just before we came on air 2 or 3 of where you have immigrants, okay, attacking people, having fights. This is. Okay, and so that was posted 57 minutes ago, but that's what his literally that's what his feed is all about: immigrants coming in and everything like that. Now, it's good to see, you know, things happening on the street because you don't see that on there. And is it really biased because you're showing everything that's on there? Now, the reason I was talking about this was because you know the intro that I started with, okay, right? That is a song that is banned on YouTube. And although I've only got 12 subscribers and only 3 people are watching on my YouTube channel at the moment, that can get me a strike because the words to that song, which I infiltrated in there, is "This is my white song." It has also as well a reference to Jewish people, referencing them a word which they don't like being called, which was kike. There's obviously history behind that. Yeah, maybe the emperor is watching. The emperor actually flawed but faithful. The emperor is always watching. He's all-seeing and all-knowing. Yeah. Where am I going with this? Yeah. So, I deliberately put that in there. Let's get back to this news, okay, right? Of this is my little thing, okay, right? Because gingers are a minority. We're 2% of the world's population, okay? And there is a lot of hatred for our ginger stuff. And here we are. Here's a story that I'm pushing just to show you how people are horrible to gingers. So this is a boy who was aged 4 and he was left behind on a nursery trip to a wildlife park when staff forgot about him. Yeah, like it's because he was ginger. They left him to the wild animals. And there he is. There's the little, that actually, right, that's what I used to look like. Maybe a bit more ginger than that when I was there. So the children had all been told to go to the toilet before leaving. And this poor little boy, whose name's Carson Mochulik, I wonder if he's Scottish at all. I've got to, it is Fife Council. So this is a Scottish story as well. So he came out of the toilets and everyone had gone. He's not looking so ginger there in that photograph. So this is the wildlife park they went to in Coupar, which I haven't done a Google search yet to find out where Coupar is. But he came out of the toilets and everyone had gone. And he thought, love him, he thought they were all playing hide and seek with him. But I mean, you know, a nursery, you know, the whole thing. I was a scout leader, a Cub Scout leader. And the thing is that you would expect, you know, when you went somewhere, you did a head count, you know, just to make sure that everyone was there. Flawed but Faithful says a boy in my class at school was left at Edinburgh Zoo and he was ginger too. Yeah, I know, because being anti-ginger is actually a thing. In the same way that you've got all these minorities, it's just us gingers don't kick up a fuss about it. Oh, okay. Let's get on. I'm not going to play my juniors because there's not a lot happening. If I just go, oh, this was. I don't believe it. Doesn't he look like I don't believe it? Although it's not that I don't believe it because that character has now been cancelled. But doesn't Farage look like an I don't believe it? Let me just tell you about Farage. Actually, I'll play a video about Farage.
However, there's a way out of this, isn't there? And the way out is vaccinations.
And yeah, the vaccine rollout's given the perfect illustration that if you're making your own decisions, you've got flexibility and adaptability.
The fact we're going to vaccinate nurses, we're going to vaccinate people working in care homes as a priority, as indeed we should. And I'm going to repeat the argument I made the other day. Some of you will scream at me, but if Blair is so confident that he thinks he can get this job done, he thinks he can get us up to 5 million vaccinations a week, then frankly, if that gets us out of the mess that we're in, why not use his services? Now, there is hope, of course. The Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, it's cheap. It only costs £3 a go. There's another one coming on stream very quickly from Johnson & Johnson, which again is going to be pretty cheap. All of these much cheaper than the Pfizer vaccine. So all the schools are closed. Oh, no, they're not, because a whole load of schools had to open today because there are some students, aged 17 and 18, that aren't doing A-levels. They're doing BTEC. And then, of course, the Prime Minister said that nursery schools and early years learning centres, they would all stay open. So the schools have had to open today for the BTEC pupils to go in. So the only way out of this disaster, and yeah, I mean, I really think it is actually a disaster. We're locked down, the weather's awful, although I did get to go tobogganing this morning, which I did enjoy a bit. But the weather's horrible. We face the prospects of months of this. We can't play golf. We can't go fishing. We can't go to the pub. I mean, there isn't much we can do. So the way out of this is vaccination. Well, today, Blair was on Good Morning Britain with Piers and Susanna, and once again showed that he understands how vaccinations work. He makes the point, all the primary schools are closed. Why not open them up as vaccination centres? He makes the point, on polling day, we get 30 million people going through those centres.
I would actually have mobile facilities as well, going round place by place. You could use polling stations. I mean, remember, we managed on election day to get, 30 million people
we had this conversation
through
yesterday.
the doors voting.
So why can't we have a big, rapid vaccination programme? He makes the point.
So never forget, never forgive is what I say. But this is a video from the Homeland Party, which, to be honest, if I was going to vote, which I'm not, I'd be voting for someone like the Homeland Party.
The rhetoric remains the same. People on the left, talking heads, every politician, they all hate Farage. Why do they hate Farage? Because he's talking about immigration. There's nothing else. They'll tell you it's all about Brexit and it's all about he's Putin's lapdog and he's just like Hitler and all this kind of stuff. It's nothing to do with that. It's because he's talking about immigration. He's the only one who's talking critically about it. It's not that they hate Nigel Farage. It's that they hate you. They hate you for daring to put your people first, for daring to vote thinking about what's best for your country, what's best for you, your children, and your family's future. They hate you. They don't hate Farage. They just hate that he has enabled people to talk about subjects they don't want anyone to talk about. The immigration subject is always off the table. No matter what you're talking about, what problems this nation faces, immigration is always off the table. And that's why they hate him, because he's making people talk about it. And they hate you because you want change. But we need change, and we're going to get change. Join the Homeland Party. Let's build change.
Well, that is much better video, isn't it, than that? Oh, here's a photograph. I couldn't sleep last night because of the heat. I thought that was quite funny. But I actually slept really, really well last night. I slept for about 11 hours, which was really, really good. Talking about the vaccinations.
Vaccine poisons came out. Do not take a single dose. A lot of people didn't listen, including some of my own family members. My uncle took Moderna. He had a massive widowmaker heart attack 2 weeks later, almost died. My sister-in-law took Pfizer. 6 months later, she got diagnosed with stage 4 turbo cancer of the pancreas. She is dead now. My brother-in-law took 2 doses of Pfizer and recently had the diagnosed kidney cancer cut out. He may very well die. So that's 3 of my immediate family members who didn't listen, took the shots, and now have had bad outcomes. So all the fake Dr. Poison pushers out there, you guys are just a bunch of fucking pathetic, weak cowards. You're murderers. You deserve life in prison at a minimum. So fuck you. Hello, Ben Marlowe MD here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I say as well. Sorry, let me just go back to my profile on there and likes where I was on there. I was just posting. Let me just post a comment by a contractor because I concur on this. Contractor says I still want revenge 4 years later, because we haven't. It's a bit like Brexit, right? Because we didn't get Brexit, right? We didn't get it. We got our accepted form of it, but we didn't get the Brexit that we were promised. And it was the same with COVID and the justice. We've not had justice. We had just ice rather than justice. It's very, very frustrating. And we've come into another, what I would call almost a psychological operation, where we're given hope. that these people are going to save us. Nigel's going to come reform. Reform's the answer. Politics is the answer. Forget about GoldEagle's idea of revolution. That's not going to do anything. Let's sit back and let Nigel Farage. And also as well, the other thing that Unity News Network have come under fire about is Donald Trump. Now, I was a big Donald Trump supporter. And a lot of people have been saying online, that it's better. Farage is going to be better. Reform are going to be better than everything else you've got. And yeah, there is that. But it's like, do you want this brown shit? Do you want this paler brown shit? Do you want this really dark brown shit? Do you want this like diarrhea shit? It's all shit. And it's frustrating. And what is our action? What is our action to do? Because eventually, like with Ukraine, like with Palestine, like with COVID, lockdowns, everything, David Clues will be proven right. Because on all the big things, David Clues has been spot on. And just because you don't like it, just because it's like going against everything. I did notice today there was, let me just go to my likes, because it turns out, now it obviously hasn't been verified yet, but it turns out that Tommy Robinson, okay, should we watch a little bit of this? I'll cut it short.
Sober. And then he said the next day, he's like, oh, I want to go for chicken korma. So he goes, I know a guy in the UK and his cousin owns a restaurant in Montreal. We're going there.
This is about Tommy Robinson, by the way. This is one of the ladies that organised one of the rallies in Canada that he went to. Just on a little bit of research that I've done as well, they said only 60 people went to that rally. I've seen other sources that said there was between 160. So it's not completely accurate, but it's very interesting.
And then we met the owner of the restaurant, and that's when he started offering us drugs. And I wowould say that Tommy held on as long as he could, but after he was white knuckling his sobriety, and he's very ADHD, and he's very twitchy. And that's when, somebody broke out the cocaine, and then, as a witness to trips to the bathroom, and then out came the vodka cokes. And next thing you know, a dragon had been unleashed in this man. And I was like, ooh. And that's when people are going, uh-oh, we have a problem here. He went missing from the hotel. People were panicking. Nobody wanted to go search for him. And I'm like, there is a white boy out there, like, looking for cocaine, guys. And if something happens to him, this is going to be a fucking international incident. And so we did lean into Ravi, the drug dealer, and said, where the fuck is he? And this kind of thing. And we are going to roast you and cook you if you don't. And so he gave us the number of a massage parlor, and it was like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm thinking in my head, like, I've got an interview planned for him with some VIPs, and I'm really not sure if he's going to be okay. And everybody's like, shut up, Bethan, just, be silent. We need to let it run its course. And I was like, okay. And so I left Montreal. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. He wouldn't come out, or he wasn't around. And so I went back, and I did receive a few texts going, right you are, that's over. Get used to it, girls. I'll be fresh as a daisy tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, fresh as a daisy tomorrow, right? And
he did tell you, he did say something in passing. You said he was drunk and high.
Yes. So while we were coming back into the hotel, he's like, right, tour's over. We've sold no tickets. I think they'd sold like 60 tickets. And I'm thinking, like, how are they going to do $80,000? And they've sold 60 tickets at, $50, so 60 times 50, I'm like, they probably made $3,000. Like, that's not even close to 80 grand. Like, how are they going to do this? And he's like, I'm going to Calgary, I'm going to get nicked, and and then the tour is over. And I was like, and I mean, like, he was drunk, he was high, he was blathering. And I just, like, again, it was another one of those things. I'm just going to plant a flag right there. And so
that's the Bart Simpson meme. What an odd thing to say.
Yeah. And then when I saw that arrest last night, it was like midnight Eastern Standard, and I was like, that's what he meant. Oh, and then the Save Tommy thing was like out. Like, they had a domain name, they had it ready to go. Like, it was boom, and Alexa was like, Save Tommy so fast. And
you'll miss it.
Give me a lawyer. And I was like, that's what getting nicked meant. And so I knew right there in the core of me that is staged, that is a lie, like, all of this is shenanigans. He said it to me. I was there. He was intoxicated. It slipped out. So I went to bed last night, like, kind of upset, feeling that, I've just been a witness to a lie. And actually I got a text and, like, this morning, and, and I felt really conflicted about what to do, because they told me, like, shut up about this debauchery, Beth, and shut up. And I had promised to shut up about the debauchery. But once they did the SaveTommy.com and they started, like, I'm like, that's how you make your $80,000, folks, right there.
Yep.
So now you're getting all these grannies. And I know my mom was one of those grannies, like, oh, Tommy, don't hurt Tommy. It's one thing to dupe, but, you're duping my people. And I feel for the grandmothers that are opening up their wallets right now, and they're like, Save Tommy, and I'm like, Grandma, don't you dare, like, close up your wallet, you're being had, Tommy.
Yeah, close up your wallet, you're being had. However, look, if you donate to people, okay, you are literally you're saying, look, here is some money. What they do with that money, even though that they say, oh, it's for this, it's for that. And let me just go back again to David Clues, okay? Because David Clues, during lockdown, during those C19 years, okay, all the money that he raised, right? And I can tell you personally, because I was doing the T-shirts, okay? And we gave away thousands of pounds of T-shirts, okay, to people that couldn't afford them. Lots of people bought them as well. David didn't actually make money on things. He was doing boards and yes, people were donating, but he was giving things out for free as well. We were a community, and that's what I loved about it. So if you do give money, you do donate, okay, yes, David spent it on on good, but you're giving it to them. So the fact that Tommy here allegedly has been using his donations for prostitutes, because it was a massage parlor, that's where he went to. When they say a massage parlor, they actually mean, and don't you hate those air quotes? When they say a massage parlor, that's basically what they mean. But the fact that that's what he spends it on, hookers and blow, you shouldn't then really get that cross because you donated that money. And the thing is, money is so tight at the moment. UNN are literally losing so much money from subscribers unsubscribing, again, because what we're saying, talking of which as well, right? A lot of people talk about unity, okay? And how, Unity News Network, you're not uniting people. You're just, don't follow these people. Don't listen to this people. This is a ruse. This is a ruse. And yeah, there's just some truth of it, because behind how we're going to get out of this, right, is that we are going to have to unite. Now, I find it personally very difficult to unite. I mean, nearly all my best friends are black. Nearly all my best friends, right, are pro-Israel. You've got my best mate, Third Earl. You got James Harvey. And it was funny because James Harvey commented on this. He was defending Tommy, saying this isn't evidence, this isn't proof, or anything like that. The thing is that when you do love somebody, it's very hard because you don't want to feel that you've been betrayed. But I honestly do think that unity is the answer. Unity is the way out of it.
The video I'm about to show you is probably one of the most incredible videos I have seen to date about unity and bringing the world together so we can stop the tyranny happening in our world. All right, please share this all over the world. Love you all, Big Bear. Watch this.
I've been a human rights activist for almost 20 years. As a documentary filmmaker, I've been on the front lines of many of our nation's biggest scandals and protests. From that perspective, I've been an eyewitness to the rise and fall of numerous people-powered movements. Nearly every organized resistance I've been a part of has ended just inches from victory for the same critical mistake: infighting, when members of the same group turn against each other. It often begins with whispers about the most prominent spokespeople of the cause. These rumors typically sound like, "I hear John is controlled opposition," or "Some people are saying Jane is compromised." While the use of infiltrators and agitators is a very real thing, I've yet to experience one scenario where such a label was accurately applied. And suspiciously, these labels are always branded on the people who are making the most progress. With the degradation of their reputation goes their contribution to your life. Prior to social media, people actually sat down to dialogue through their differences. Today, without solid evidence or sufficient inquiry, we go directly to our keyboards to vent our suspicions. Even after the rumor is proven false or simply fades away, some level of doubt and division always remains. This is all by design.
Part of what allowed so many people to walk away from Assange was some of the Me Too allegations that had surfaced and that were ultimately discredited, stuck in people's minds.
The voices of propaganda are masterful at this game. They knowingly run a false story, then retract it, knowing the lie will reach millions, but very few will see the correction.
Amy Coney Barrett's religious faith is being called into question again. She belongs to this People of Praise group, which the Southern Poverty Law Center has labeled them a hate group. When I stated that People of Praise had been deemed a hate group, I just got them mixed up with another group. I conflated them.
Okay. That happens, it's easy to do.
In the words of former CIA Director William Casey, "We'll know that our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false." The planting of divisive rumors is one of the most common tactics used in psychological warfare. As the lies bloom, like worker bees, well-intended citizens pollinate the masses with poisonous disinformation. What the gossiping bees fail to realize is that they themselves are doing the work of controlled opposition. They are literally, unwittingly, working on behalf of the very forces they believe they are resisting. Again, all of this is by design. While we've all been distracted by the latest trends and tragedies, everything that has influence on our behavior has been infiltrated by an agenda to control our thoughts. Whether their goal is to make us purchase a product, vote for a political party, or submit to experimental inoculations, there are forces at work who understand the functionalities of your...
Anyway, that's enough of that. That actually goes on for about 5 minutes, that video. But I think it is important that, as I say, if we're going to win this, we do need unity. It's Dog Dilemma says, if you support the lie, you're as guilty as the one lying. I think the truth is, is we all want to do the right thing, and we do what we do from the information that we're given, whether that be from mainstream media, whether that be from who we're following. It was interesting that Pandora Chaser's there in the chat. Good evening, Pandora Chaser. And Pontins was asking for Ceylon. Okay, so I've looked at it. I've never heard of these people. This is the trouble, is that I am a crap truther, okay? Part of the truthing movement. The reason is because I've never heard of these people. And every day it's a new discovery that I find another content creator. So I'll have to check out this at Ceylon and find out what they're saying. Because I think we need to listen to as many people to then get our opinion. I was talking to a normie yesterday, And it's very hard having a conversation with a normie. We were talking about dinosaurs, and I said, well, there's a conspiracy theory saying that dinosaurs didn't exist. And they said, are you crazy? You know, because I've dug up ammonites. I said, but maybe those aren't really dinosaurs. You know, it's how you plant the seeds, you know, and to get people to change their opinion is very difficult. Anyway, let's get back to the news. Okay, let's get and see what's occurring. Let me just go back to because the Daily Mail. Let's go back to on here because there's been another sighting of Jay Slater in a bar watching the Euros. That would be really funny if that turned out. But I did see online, didn't check into it, but apparently they did find somebody else while they were looking. They found someone else who was lost while they were looking for Jay Slater. And it is funny, isn't it? You know, some really weird stories that are out there. I reckon they do it deliberately to wind us up. There was a car crashed into a Wimbledon school. And they won't face any charges because the lady who was driving the £80,000 Land Rover. Why do they've always got to put the cost into everything? Oh, talking of which, of cars, I did see on my profile on there a car. It's a Mercedes car that can do wheelies. It can turn on itself. Look at this.
So first thing to do is engage low range. That's the first thing, right? Then we've got this button right here. Foot on the brake, steering wheel straight. Pressing it. Check surroundings. Now I have to decide if I want to go to the right or to the left. Right. So here we go. Yeah. So I'm going to push the left pedal and hold it. I'm going off the brake. On the gas. There we go. 90 degrees.
Oh, what's happened to the volume? That was good. That was good. And I actually put on there, I mean, it's fake, but I put on there a crowdfunder. It was a crowdfunder. Oh, this is for tonight as well. So never forget, okay, 34 Americans were killed and 174 were injured by a deliberate attack on USS Liberty. This was on June the 8th, 1967, during the 5-day war with Egypt. And Philip Tawney is, he was, we saw a photograph of him earlier on there. So please join us at 8 o'clock. I'm also streaming it to the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel as well, but that'll be on Rumble. And what a twat am I? Oh, what a twat am I? Because I forgot to put my show on Monday night because the Emperor wasn't going to. I forgot to put it on Rumble. And then when the next day for David's show, I forgot that it was Tuesday. So I set it up as a Monday night show. Yeah. It's typical GoldEagle. Let's go back to what I was going to look at, which was I can't remember what I was talking about. I was going to talk about something. Oh, I've completely forgotten. What I was talking about. Let's go back to the news and see if I can remember. I know what I was going to say about this with this lady that was with the £80,000 Land Rover. So you can now use it as a medical excuse. You could say, oh, I had a seizure or I blacked out to get away with a murder because, you know, when you've done something like that, there's got to be a bit of repercussions, surely, or am I wrong? You know, is that should they then introduce a medical test, or is it part of the war against cars that they're doing? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that much, really, to be honest. As much as we like to think that we know everything. Let me just check that that's on the. Yeah, it is. Taylor Swift's boyfriend. There's videos doing the rounds, okay, of this. I think it was an MII thing. Let me just go to profile and likes. And he's doing this. He's transitioning. And I do think, and I haven't seen We Fat Shugs for a while in chat. I hope he is okay. But we fat sharks, I am sorry, this is because it is about trans. And I did say I wasn't going to do any more trans stuff. Where is it? I'm sure I liked it, or maybe I didn't. But it's a big butch guy with a hairy chest, and he's now he's taking HRT, and he's going to have bottom surgery, which is like crazy. Yeah, I'm not sure about that tornado in Dallas. I'm trying to get that verified. Those are the things I played. Let's keep the dumb fuckery to a minimum today, shall we? Yeah. So this was something James Goddard posted. This was interesting.
I don't want you. You have a baby. You stay here. Otherwise, you get arrested. Now, I will put you on the floor. Let you move.
Now, I don't actually believe that they are Chinese, because they are way too tall. I don't know if this is maybe a bit of racism. Whatchamacallit? I think he's a good. He's Ebenezer good. Yeah, I've started up as well. On my not GoFundMe, Buy Me a Coffee. I've started up a Buy Me a Coffee page, because it has like a website thing on there, so you can sell things on there. So let me just go to it. Go profile. I go to my profile, and I go to look. It's Buy Me a Coffee GoldEagle, and I'm starting to produce some t-shirts. Okay, so I've sold one already. That was from someone who is a regular. Where's the shop? There we go. There's the shop. So you go to shop, and that 3 lions on the shirt. Look, 3 lions on a shirt. T-shirt for 10 quid, and that includes postage and packing. And David did when I told you so. And this one here is Leave Our Kids Alone beanie. Why has that been blurred out? Maybe they didn't like that. Let me accept that. Oh, there we go. It's because I didn't accept their policy. So that's a Leave Our Kids Alone beanie on there. And that actually does include a donation, 5 quid, to Active Patriot to help him with all the filming that he does as well. I need to speak to Alan as well and get him to promote it, but I need to put the other merch on there as well. But anyway, because I need to start earning money. Oh dear. Amber Leaf is not to cause for my cough at all. Amber Leaf is pure and beautiful. It makes all your organs, your sexual organs, so much more virile and brilliant. It makes you appear wonderful, and most importantly, Amber Leaf makes you cool. Okay, it makes you appear cool. Today's show is sponsored by Amber Leaf. That's just an in-joke with myself. The trouble is, when you have a lot of in-jokes, Pontins says there are GoldEagle is one of my favourite presenters. Thank you, Pontins. That's very good. Oh, Sporty Oxford says, I'll buy you a coffee for sure, GoldEagle. Don't buy a coffee. I'm not looking for a coffee. I'll make my money because I don't take donations. Okay, right? So what I need to do is to sell my merchandise. Because when Mrs. GoldEagle and I, we cashed in my pension, and I bought all the embroidery equipment. But then all this lockdown and COVID and everything just kicked in, and all we did was follow UNN, and it was all about making money for UNN. And Mary Walker loves me too. Oh, so much love for GoldEagle. It's lovely. It really is. It really is good. Good evening, Shorty 222. Good to have you in on that chat. Is it Gold Label or Gold Blend? Does it come with women at the door asking for Carlos? Yes. It was funny enough, Mrs. GoldEagle actually thought that Carlos had actually been with all of these famous people when he was doing it on there. Yeah, Sean is away. He's going to getting ready for a festival or something that's at the weekend. Oh, so thank you, Jan 1954. WeFat was here yesterday. I do miss Wee Fat Shugs. Now, the reason I miss Wee Fat Shugs is because he's a like-minded thinker. You know, we think the same things. Anyway, enough chit chat from me. And let me just go to present. Let me just put in some video files. Let's see what we've got in the video files. Fauci was being heckled. Let's play this quickly. Oh, no, can't play that. It says your browser is having trouble sharing the video, so I can't play that one. But basically, Fauci was getting heckled. There was also Farage. After he accepted that award, he was getting booed as well. Let's just see what else we got on there. Tucker on Assange. He's obviously going to be doing that. Oh, this one was interesting. East Anglian farmer. Talking about
rain practically every day for the last 9 months. I genuinely believe it's, you know, manipulated by man. I don't believe that this is natural at all. What I would say on that is that I drove the other day to the carrot farm, which is the main carrot farm that supplies into Sainsbury's. We go in there, you know, into their plant to buy carrots for the wholesale side. And they've got tractors buried in the fields up to their bonnets, what cost, you know, £800,000 a time with the harvest equipment, what are on the back of them. They can't get them out of the fields. They're just so entrenched in the mud. There's 2 of them that I saw in one field. You know, so someone's got £1.6 million worth of kit tied up in a field that they can't get out. You then think they haven't got on the field to clear last year's crop. So we've had a shortage of carrots coming out of the season. They haven't then got onto the fields to plant next year's crop. So the crop we should be starting in a few weeks' time isn't likely to be available until September, October time. And just to give you an idea on that, Charles, of how bad the situation is on a basic commodity that I believe is one of the given things British farmers have always been good at. Yesterday, I had to buy imported carrots from China because I could not buy any carrots at all from anywhere else in the world. And that, to me, speaks trouble.
Yeah, so that was on UK Column. I haven't actually watched UK Column for quite a while because it's on at lunchtime, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. I also heard as well, you know, I was talking about unity before and about rumours. Lots of people saying that UK Column is controlled opposition on there. And, you know, why would you have MI5 and, you know, ex-army people talking on there? I don't know, because all the way through lockdown and everything like that, they were, you know, I watched UK Column religiously. Flawed but Faithful says carbon tax at $100 per cow being introduced shortly in Denmark. And also earlier on as well, you mentioned something as well, Flawed, about bird flu. Because I'm on YouTube as well, if you get, there's monkeypox as well. Get injected, get jabbed, multi jabbed. Okay, if you're listening to UNN for the first time, go and get boosted. Go and get it. Okay, right? Because it's really bad. Okay, those of you at UNN, you know what to do, don't you? You can't. Where was it? Yeah, you were talking about bird flu because they really are pushing new sort of pandemic potentials. And don't forget what the Lord Bill Gates said. That you know, you shouldn't be worried about that one. You should be worried about the next one. What's that called? You know, when you do the smile, and it means something. It's I can't remember. Duping smile. That's what it is. It's a duping smile. Yeah. Let's just read some comments that's going on. Talking of yes, Shorty 222, bird flu is bollocks, but they're killing loads and loads of chickens. And they're also saying as well that it's mutated from chickens to cows, and they're going to have to start killing killing them. Our middle finger, the jab. September is bird flu here, really, says Jan 1954. It might as well rain until September. Neil Christie says he hasn't watched UK Column for a few weeks because there are no laughs. Exactly. Mind you, we've had very little laughs here tonight. But I promise you, tomorrow night, I will be running the show. I've got David Clues coming on for about half an hour. And I've also trying to get on OnlyCams, because in the world of Madeleine McCann, yeah, there we go, a cheerful subject, a funny subject. Madeleine McCann still is as well the reigning hide and seek champion, British hide and seek champion. She's been doing really, really well. But a few things in that world are coming to light. First of all, we have, I like to call her the fake Maddie. This is a girl who thinks she's Madeleine McCann. Also, there's been a book brought out by a man saying that he's been tracking the McCanns and he knows where Maddie is buried. So we're going to talk about that with the OnlyCans, that's Zoe and Krieg, who's been very depressed since Scotland got kicked out of the football Euros. Alphabet Cat says, I walked past a pharmacy today and in the front window, a massive sign saying they have the new vax for both flu and C19 from the 30th of June. Oh, dear. Contract says, here we go. Tucker Carlson responds to Julian's release. Shall I play that quickly for you? I'm gonna have to go off in about 5 minutes because I've got to get it ready for Kate's show, because Kate's coming on.
Been locked away in one place or another for more than a decade. Julian Assange is so despised by elements within the permanent U.S. government that at one point, CIA Director Mike Pompeo discussed murdering him in the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where he was seeking asylum. Mike Pompeo has never been charged for that, which is a crime. Unelected bureaucrats can't just murder people they don't like. Virtually the entire ruling class in Washington is opposed to Julian Assange, and that's the reason that he has sat for years now in Belmarsh prison in London. Keep in mind, Julian Assange has not been charged with a crime in Great Britain, and yet he's being held there. So this fall, we went to Belmarsh, and we asked Julian Assange, why do you think you're being held as the most wanted man in America without ever being charged with a real crime? Here's what he told us.
My first question to him was, what do you think this is actually about?
Anyway, that interview is going to be dropping because they held back on it, almost as if they had prior knowledge that he was going to be released. Maybe it helped in some way getting out there. But interestingly enough, George Galloway had an interview with Piers Morgan. And it was very interesting because he revealed that he also had been stalked by, what's her name, Reindeer. You know, the Reindeer woman, that there was that Netflix little mini series on there. And what made me vomit, literally bitter sick in my mouth, was when George Galloway started off the interview with Piers and said, what wonderful work you did during lockdown. Red flag for Mr. Galloway, because Piers Morgan, okay, is not to be trusted, okay? Oh, the science changed. Once I knew the science had changed. No, mate, you pushed it. Hashtag never forget. Hashtag never forgive. Let's see what people are saying in chat. Evening, Lozzaby. What else people say? Yeah, Lil Ace Angel saying, Sean Atwood had her on. She's a poor soul, totally deluded. The thing is, right, it could easily have been sorted just by having her DNA. Just get the DNA tested. It's a bit nefarious why Operation Grange wouldn't spend, what, 30 quid, 40 quid? Even if they went to Harley Street, you know, £100, you know, just to put her at rest, because all it's going to do is make her think even more. I might be mad, might be Maddie, you know? Mary Walker saying Galloway was just as bad about the scandemic. Exactly, Mary Walker. And I remember as well, okay, because George Galloway was bleating. He was bleating because he'd been, I can't remember what it was exactly. It was something like one of his videos had been deleted or something. And he was saying, oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. And what happened was that I tweeted him at the time and said, "But you know, you're talking about it now, but what about all the times that YouTube channels, anything that you said that went against the World Health Organization was deleted? It was terrible." Yes, Mary. Yes, Mary, says Pandora Chaser. Galloway is full of crap, as they all are. They are. Alphabet Cat says it was disappointing about Galloway and the lockdown and the cure. I haven't seen The Cure for a long time, but I do like 80s music. The Wall of Crunts, right, Kathy? That's it. I tell you what, I don't know what you smoke, Pandora Chaser, but you're actually on my level. Loza B as well. It's really funny because I didn't want to say anything until I found out who sent it to me. Loza B very kindly sent me some CBD, not CBD, HCPT, TCP. I don't know what the stuff's called, okay? And I didn't realize, okay, and I am a boomer, I am a twat, okay? And it was edibles, but it was watermelon edibles. Anyway, so I opened up the packet and I had one. It was lovely. It was like, you know, little kiddie sweets. I thought that was great. So I ate the 2 packets and man, I was tripping. I was literally, I was there going, tech guy, I need you, tech guy. That's my word for Jesus. Because Jesus is my savior, because he comes, and whenever my mind is going bad, he comes into my head and he sorts it out for me. The reason that Loza B is so kind and so lovely was because I'd mentioned that I wasn't getting much sleep. And that was so kind of you, Loza B. Thank you so much, my darling. Don't send me any more, because although I did feel quite chilled before I started tripping, I was like, oh man, I'm sort of like, I'm feeling quite chilled. But it was good. Right. Yeah. Loza B says had me in stitches when I told her. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're laughing about it anyway. But thank you very much on there. That's the trouble as well, is that, you know, when you do have, I once put down, I was applying for some insurance, and it asked about my medical history. And the trouble is with these insurance companies now, they can get access to your medical records. So because I'd taken things like LSD, etc., they put down, have you ever had a bad reaction to drugs? And I wrote yes, because it just said yes or no. Anyway, I had a phone call and they asked me to elaborate, and they said, oh, what was the reaction to? I said, oh, it was lysergic acid, because I did have a super bad reaction to it on there. Pandora Chaser says, Carbon, they did tell you about the Emperor's return will be coming on Clues. I mean, Klaus. Yeah, Emperor's here with me tomorrow. Now, this Friday could be, because basically could be Jackie Devoy's last show. Well, we're hoping that she'll do some more, but basically we're not able to pay her. So we haven't told her not to do anything yet. But anyway, the Emperor is working with her just to see whether she can get her sponsorship up to keep going on the Friday. But it does appear that this Friday is going to be her last show. So coming up Fridays, we haven't yet discussed what we're going to do on a Friday, because I'd like to do that sort of talk show. I think that's quite a good format. I think that would be quite good. Anyway, we're coming up now. I'm going to have to go and start sorting out the show for Kate Shemirani with her lovely guest, who was a survivor from the USS Liberty. So please stay tuned to UNN. As soon as I cut off, I'm going to start the Kate Shemirani show. Even if Kate isn't in the studio, I'm going to start it. So thanks everyone for joining me. Join me again, please, tomorrow night. I'll be on Rumble tomorrow night as well. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. While, to be honest, I've just been helping pass the time, haven't I? Until the main show. That's all I am, really. I'm a warm up. I'm a warm up act. I keep people warm and cozy. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Take care, and don't have nightmares and other things that the Emperor has said over the years. And I'll see you soon in about 2-3 minutes on the Kate Shemirani show. Good night, all.
People, they're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin, and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video.
I love Satan, so f*** you. I kill my kids.
Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man.
We came, we saw, he died.
She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weirdo woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur.
There's a guy on the radio who apparently Trump's on his show frequently. He said, me and Hillary are demons. Said we smell like sulfur. Ain't that something?
I had never seen or smelled any woman like that, ever.
People are telling me she smells.
Who could not notice someone who smelled that badly?
Vampire